recording. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the sneeze that just doesn't want to happen, Willem van der Merwe.
And I am Reservoir.
And welcome to Never Call Cut Podcast.
Yay!
Woo! Episode 4.
Yup. So, Willem,
Yes, Sega.
what have you watched in the past week?
What have I watched? Well, in the preparation for this particular subject that we're gonna do today, I watched a movie called Ruben Brand Collector, and while watching it, I realized that I wouldn't really count it as a heist movie, so I decided to talk about it now. And it actually has all of the normal things that you would think fall part of the heist movie genre, but it just didn't have that whole planning part in the beginning, like before the heist. It was just basically a constant stream of heists, and it's basically about a guy who has nightmares about certain pieces of art.
Yeah.
So then he's like friends, or he's a psychiatrist for a lot of criminals. Then the criminals decide to go and heist, steal these paintings to help him with his nightmares. And it's a really interesting animation movie. Really great art style, really weird looking. A lot of the character designs are inhuman, like some of the people would have 3 eyes or 2-dimensional or just look strange. And it seems like it's just done for artistic reasons, except for the one where it is part of his thieving technique. But a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. And I mean, it does count as a heist movie. I just don't really have enough to say about it because I was somewhat tired while watching it, so I didn't pay too much attention.
Ooh.
Yeah, the cardinal sin.
Ooh. Willem.
But a really fun movie, and I really recommend it to people who love more mature animation. That is now animation not directly geared towards children.
Alright. Cool.
Yes, and what did you watch?
I watched some heist movies, Ocean's 11 and Italian Job, some good movies, but we'll talk about those later. I also started watching Haiku, the anime.
The volleyball anime.
The volleyball anime, man. That's a great show. Anime continues to be able to dramatize
Whatever
pretty
it
much
wants.
literally whatever subject matter it chooses. And I'm enjoying it. I'm only like 11 episodes in, but yeah, thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, it's
also,
a fun show, and it really it's able to hype up a lot of its moments.
Yeah. Also started watching tennis. It's not movies or series, but
Tennis, not Tenet.
no, tennis. But yeah, also very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, what's the character arcs like in tennis?
Oh, it's actually very, very interesting stuff, but I can't get into it now. Way too many characters. I'm actually surprised at how they balance it all out. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty realistic. I find it quite grounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Anything else you wanted to?
Over this weekend, I watched a couple of the Harry Potter movies.
Okay.
The intention was to marathon all of them, but then ended up only watching 3.
All right. Who are you with?
A friend. And we wanted to watch Harry Potter, but then I haven't seen this friend in quite a while, so then every time we just kept on pausing and talking about other stuff, and it was not a successful marathon. But yeah, Harry Potter, I still have the same opinion on it. It's fun, but not the best movies, and I feel like I would have cared more for it if I actually watched it when I was younger.
What made you want to watch Harry Potter?
My friend wanted to watch it.
Who's the friend?
Why do you care? Nobody listens, cares.
Why are you so defensive?
No, I'm just saying it's saying the friend's name. It's not for a podcast.
Give them a shout out.
Okay. Shout out to you, Andre. Woo!
Ooh.
Shout outs. Yeah.
All right, now, is that all? Is there anything else that you wanted to say about Harry Potter and how you hate it?
I mean, do you have something to say about it?
About what? I'm not the one who watched it.
Yeah, you haven't watched it, but you have recently, but you have seen it. So anything you want to get off your chest about it?
No.
Oh, okay. I realized that I said Snape's name wrong the whole time. For some reason, I always remembered it as Sirius, but it's Severus.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I thought there was 2 characters in Harry Potter called Sirius.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but now I know my thinking process was flawed.
The error of your ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we can get on with the main topic of this week's podcast. Considering we never got around to watching the last episode of WandaVision.
Oh yeah, we haven't watched it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about that last episode in the next podcast then.
Yep.
Which is not gonna be recorded tomorrow. Definitely not.
Yeah, no ways. We would never. Why would we record podcasts back to back if like they're weeks apart? No.
Yeah, that's not...
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but totally absurd. I don't even know why I mentioned it.
Yeah, you're crazy. You continue to be crazy.
Absolute mad lad.
Wild. Anyway, so the topic for this, actually you can do the intro.
Oh, am I doing?
You always do
me?
the intros. So
am I the intro guy now? Okay, so the topic for this week is heist movies. Heist movies, fun movies, great, always a fun time. So, what are your thoughts on heist movies?
I love heist movies. Heist movies are some of the best movies ever. They're very rarely not some kind of fun. Like I don't think I've watched a movie that includes a heist in it that I haven't enjoyed.
That you can think of now, because I'm sure there are a couple that aren't good, that you didn't enjoy, that you just wiped from memory. Or did you go through a lot of lists and stuff to make sure?
Yep, not that I remember, man. I think pretty sure I've enjoyed every heist related movie I've ever watched. It's like spy movies, but not for good. Although spies, I guess, don't also always do good things. But anyway, the point is, I really like heist movies, man. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for listening to our podcast. That is our opinion on heist movies.
You have to say your opinion on heist movies, Mr.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
our opinion.
They're cool. I enjoy them as well. I mostly have the same opinion as you, as in, from what I remember, most heist movies I've seen, I always end up enjoying, usually end up enjoying, let's say, because I don't want to say that definitively, because I'm not 100% sure. But yes, it's usually just pretty fun, and even the more serious ones are always interesting, and I always end up enjoying them at least enough to say that I enjoyed them.
Oh, that's a great breakdown, man. This is a spoiler warning. We're gonna be talking about the details of these heist movies, by the way. So Willem,
Yes.
what do you think makes a good heist movie?
Well, I would say a key factor is interesting characters.
Yep, that was my number one. Also, nice. Continue.
Continue. Not gonna talk about the interesting character.
No, I'm saying continue with the interesting characters.
Okay. I misread your continue there. Okay, yes, it's just because most of the heist movie is about the characters. It's the characters planning the heist. It's the characters' this interaction with each other. And all of the banter surrounding that, and that just like with most movies, terrible characters end up being a boring movie.
Yeah.
And especially with a movie where actually most of the movie running time with a formulaic or the generic heist movie outline is most of the movie is the planning of the said heist. And there's not really a lot of action going on with planning. So you need to have fun, interesting characters to carry the movie up until the exciting heist part of the movie.
It depends on what kind of heist movie, because a lot of heist movies have a lot of action in the actual planning sequence too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just saying now, kind of like the generic like cookie cutter heist template, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I feel like most of the heist movies that I've seen include a visual representation of the heist while they're planning it.
True.
I'm just saying I agree on all your actual points about the character. I'm just saying I don't agree that the planning part isn't part of the action, because
oh no, it definitely is. Let's just say I don't know. I can't defend my stance there really. Yeah, I guess your opinion trumps mine there.
Yeah. Okay. So for the heist movie, I agree on the whole character thing. I think like the whodunit, the heist movie, because like with the whodunit, you have a range of very kind of specific characters, and it almost defines the genre. Like a whodunit without weird characters kind of is like why are you doing it then? If you're doing like the formulaic whatever. And a big part of the heist movie is the whole recruiting the team of crazy guys who are gonna go and do this thing now. So I think having characters that can play off each other and that have their own weird quirks and that sort of thing is a very important part of a good heist movie.
Yeah, 100% agree.
So what else makes a good heist movie, Phil?
Well, I will ask you this time. Since
No. We can just go you, me the whole time. It's fine.
Oh, and yours was the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say the heist itself should a lot of times be an interesting heist, kind of make you think, oh, how will they manage to pull this one off?
Yep.
Yes, and it's because of this reason that I ended up saying that Ruben Brand Collector is not part of this, my discussion on this, because in that movie the heist just kind of happened. It's nothing about it is the planning. It's just them taking the thing, and it's not really a problem for them to be able to get the art pieces. So I wouldn't say that this point is a necessity. But it definitely helps the movie if the heist itself is a interesting one or a difficult one at that.
Yeah, I fully agree. I have a point similar to that. It's not that exact point, but I had said that a decent heist movie should have the heist that has to include either an outrageous stunt or a high level of cleverness in it.
Okay, let me just quickly jump in here, because that's kind of part of one of my points, which says fun. It's fun, and then in brackets, set pieces, etc. So set piece, So my point there to add is has to have fun or big scale set pieces or fun.
I think that's an absolute necessity, because like you're saying, you always want to kind of go into the thing wondering, okay, how because they always set up the stakes or the difficulty of the task, and then you gotta wonder like, okay, how are they gonna do this?
Just think about Fast 5, driving with the Volt.
That's exactly what I was gonna.
I am sorry.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. In Fast 5, there's them literally dragging out the vault out of the actual place, which is usually they steal what's in the vault, not the actual vault, and get away with that. Intended to make a distraction, they crash a plane into a building, and
that'll do the trick.
Not necessarily a heist movie, but in Fast and the Furious, when they're trying to steal the codes in Rogue Nation, when
wait, say that sentence again.
Why?
because you said Fast and Furious Rogue
Oh,
Nation.
sorry. Did I say Fast and Furious Rogue Nation? Oh my word! Sorry, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. There's that whole water. I mean, every Mission Impossible has a heist within it.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about
which
that.
Which I absolutely love. But if I have to choose one, I would say the one where Tom Cruise has to do the whole water stunt to switch out the discs so that Simon Pegg can get through the surveillance or whatever. That whole sequence is pretty crazy. Oh yeah, the way they at the beginning of the Italian Job, the way they get the safe out of the building, and I mean it comes in again at the end of the movie, but literally they basically do the same thing as or a similar tactic as what they do in Fast 5, which is the actually removing the safe from within the room, because they just like line the floors with explosives. So that it's in Venice, so they line the floors with explosives and they blow the safe out of the building into the water, and then they open the safe while it's underwater, and they have a whole decoy tactic. It's pretty crazy. The classic Mission Impossible thing where Tom Cruise goes down with the rope and there's pressure sensors on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Classic heist things, man. And then also in Ocean's 11, there's like a flip that Yen has to do from one side of the safe to the other side of the safe. That's the flip that I was talking about. But that's like a crazy gymnastics thing that it's just like, is he gonna manage to do this whole thing? But yeah. Anyway, so the point is there has to be outrageous stunts. And yeah.
Okay, and since I now realize it works better if we talk about the movies while we're talking about the points, let's quickly backtrack to characters again. And let me mention one of my favorite heist movies, which I don't believe you've seen. And it's also a remake. And a lot of people say they prefer the original. I have not seen the original, which is something I usually like to do, is watch the originals as well. But I did not see the original, and I really enjoy the remake, which a lot of people don't. So I guess I'm in the minority. It's called The Ladykillers, and it is directed by the Coen brothers.
Okay.
And it has characters played by such great names such as America's favorite Tom Hanks, Marlon Wayans, and J.K. Simmons.
Hey.
What? Need I say more? Don't you just automatically already want to watch this movie?
Yeah, seems pretty interesting actually.
Yeah, and it's basically these people who want to rob a casino. So they do it through an old lady's house, and then they go downstairs there, and yeah, it's really fun. It has the classic Coen Brothers comedy. It's a bit more broad, I would say, a bit more broad comedy than the Coen Brothers usually do, but it's a heist movie, so you would expect that. And yeah, it's really fun, and yeah, so that's a quick thing on the characters.
I mean, was there something specific you wanted to say about the characters, or were you just saying
I just remember really
works?
enjoying the characters. Like, they just have great interactions. I wanted to rewatch it before this, but I couldn't, so I didn't highlight any specific interaction, unfortunately.
All right. For me, the Ocean series and their ensemble is just absolutely untouchable.
I 100% knew you were going to talk about.
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, I've already mentioned Ocean's twice. But like George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Bernie Mac, Julia Roberts, Don Cheadle. Casey Affleck's even in there. I was like, oh, interesting. When I was rewatching it, I think it was last year or whatever, because I didn't know Casey Affleck until like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and then it's like, oh, okay, he's actually in this. So yeah, man, the banter between them all, like the banter between Brad Pitt and Clooney is already great, but then because Matt Damon's character in this wants to take more of a like leadership role in the planning, and both in 11 and 12, because he's like unexperienced in 11, and then he wants to kind of be more senior in 12. They kind of like just take him for a ride, like, you know how like you know how seniors in say high school or in university or whatever would just mess around with the juniors and just play pranks on them or whatever. They pretty much do that to Matt Damon's character.
On each other.
Yeah, it's actually it's hilarious. There's like this part where they literally just I never mind, but
just say it.
No, there's this part where they have to go into this meeting with this guy in 12, and he's supposed to give them a job, and they say, okay, yo, this guy, he has like his own language, you know. When you go in there, you gotta be very specific, you know, and you just don't anger him or whatever. And then they go in there, and this guy like is telling a story or whatever, and they all laugh, right? And then at the end of it, he says something that sounds very metaphorical, and it's like, what the flip did he just say? And then George Clooney says something, and then they all like, it says something also crazy metaphorical, and then they all look at each other, and then they all like laugh or smile or nod or whatever, and they look at Matt Damon, and Matt Damon's like giving like a very nothing kind of expression, trying to fit in or whatever. Then Brad Pitt does the same thing, and then when it's Matt Damon's turn, he like recites a poem because like he clearly doesn't know what the hell is going on. And then Brad Pitt and George Clooney take him outside of the building where they were talking to the guy, and they're like, dude, you totally messed up in there. You called his niece a whore. and then Brad Pitt is like, yeah, and she's currently in hospital with leukemia or something like that. It's like, what the I mean, and they're obviously just screwing around, but it's like just the little random things like that, just scattered in the dialogue throughout the Ocean's movies, just make it like amazing for me. Like,
yeah, it's a really fun watch always.
Yeah, always. And then in Inception, the ensemble's just crazy.
I keep on forgetting Inception can be seen as a heist movie.
Yep.
I keep on forgetting. It just doesn't feel like your normal heist movie.
Which is part of what I love about it.
Yes.
But anyway, Inception's more of a serious movie. It's less of like the fun kind of heist movie, but it's still, I would still consider it a great heist movie. But there, the ensemble's crazy. We got Leo, we got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Elliot Page, Tom Hardy. Yeah, Cillian Murphy is also in there. Marion Cotillard. Cotillard?
I think Cotillard. I think it's one of those that has like an added thing that's not written down.
Okay. And Ken Watanabe. The cast there also really great. The banter between Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Tom Hardy I love throughout, because they're like kind of opposite kind of characters. So,
and it's one of the few times I can somewhat make out what Tom Hardy says
in a movie.
Yeah.
One of the few times he has no mask on. Although that's not entirely true, because in the dream he acts as someone else, and then he's not actually him. He's someone else to the other people in the dream. So that could be considered a mask too.
Okay, we're getting very existential here.
Yeah, and then in Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, basically we have a bunch of different parties who are just they kind of have group personalities. Actually, now that I think about it. I mean, each of the characters are distinct in their own way, but the way they interact is almost based on like how the status of the groups themselves and the different goals throughout the movie. I also find that pretty interesting. It's not very often we have a heist movie that has multiple groups working against each other. Ocean's 12 gives us that, but I'll talk about that later.
And also, speaking of characters, since we can really go into basically all of the heist movies with this category, but Bottle Rocket as well, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's forgot the director's name for a second.
Wes Anderson.
Yeah, it's a Wes Anderson movie, so you just know it's gonna be weird, quirky characters, and that just really works for this type of movie. Even though a lot of the movie isn't actually a heist movie, it throws in a heist there at the end, but it's always mentioned periodically throughout the movie. But I would still categorize it as a heist movie. and it's fun characters. And also, speaking of categorizing heist movies, would you categorize Reservoir Dogs as a heist movie?
I almost want to say Reservoir Dogs is more of a heist movie than Bottle Rocket, but I don't know why that is. I guess that's just because Reservoir Dogs feels like it.
Everything about it is about the heist, except it doesn't show the heist.
Yeah.
Where Bottle Rocket,
it's about a lot more things.
It's about
than just the
a lot
heist.
of things, and then kind of the heist is incidental in the whole story it actually wants to tell.
And there's more than one heist in Bottle Rocket, but it still doesn't feel like one.
there is actually, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the one is just a robbery, really, but...
I mean,
but
the
last
heist,
one,
if you think about
one,
it, what is a heist if not a robbery?
It's a grand robbery. A heist is a grand robbery. In the case of cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your next point?
Well, this one actually also falls in line with the interesting characters, where my next point is you want the robbers to win. And usually if the characters are compelling and you see why they want to do the heist, or they are just really compelling characters, then you want them to
wait
pull off the heist.
Is your point that a good film will make us want the robbers to win, or are you saying a good heist film has the robbers win in the end?
What I am saying is just to pull you along the narrative, you would usually want the robbers to win. So a good movie would make you want the robbers to win.
Okay.
There's of course exceptions. I can't think of any now, but there would be. but yeah, I would say as a general rule, you would want because in the heist movies, the robbers are the protagonists, and usually the protagonists are the good guys in the movie, and you want them to win. Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that, or not really?
I guess my next point is sort of linked to that, in that I was gonna say, I mean it is pretty linked to that actually. Is that I was just gonna say that we want to understand what the stakes are for the robbers going into the whole robbery. Like, we want there to be relatively high stakes. In Inception, I mean, not necessarily high stakes, but compelling stakes in it, because in Inception it's the whole Leo wants to get back into America to be with these kids, and he can't do that unless he helps Saito with this job. In Oceans, we don't really have that much of a reason, except for they like robbing, and this guy kind of wants to get back at the man who stole his wife. I mean, stole his wife, but not really stole his wife, but is a contributing factor to why they broke up.
I would say that one falls into the category of you usually in a lot of the heist movies, you want the robbers to win just because they are such cool, slick, quirky, interesting characters, and it's kind of like they always win, so you kind of just want to see how they succeed just because they are who they are. They don't necessarily need a reason, or that's how I see those ones, at least.
Which ones?
Like the Oceans movies. It's because they don't necessarily need to pull off the heist.
No, in 12 they have to, otherwise they'll be killed.
Yeah.
They'll be killed from the guy they robbed in the first one.
Okay, true. I was thinking more about the first one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
And in Italian Job, they're getting back at the guy who killed their boss at the beginning.
Yeah, which I talked about the Ladykillers being a remake, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Italian Job is the one we're talking about, is the newer one, which is the remake. I haven't seen the original either. Don't know about you.
Nah. I feel like people would have assumed we're talking about the remake, right?
They would have assumed,
I mean,
but...
Ocean's 11, I'm talking about the remake, just in case
is
anyone wanted
there
to know
an
that.
original?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, it is. There is.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it when we were saying we should watch the originals. I even mentioned Ocean's 11.
Oh yeah, you did. It's just for some reason the remake is so iconic. It just keeps on, the original one keeps on slipping my mind. But no, with Italian Job, it's yeah, I don't know. People would assume we're talking about the remake, but there might be some people.
Yeah.
So, especially since I mentioned the Ladykillers, the original one. So yeah, just to let people know. Sorry, continue with your point.
No, I don't really have much more than that to say. Do you want to say your next, or should I say mine?
You can say your next, because my next one is actually basically one we've said already, just in a different word.
Yeah, you might as well say it then.
Yeah, since I said it now. Mine was exciting, so that falls with the set pieces and fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a boring heist movie.
Yeah. That would be, like we said, boring.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, I mean, I feel like there's many things that can make a heist movie boring. If you're not into Wes Anderson's movies and you went in there wanting a typical heist movie, you might find yourself bored by
Bottle
Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of what makes cinema more interesting than regular life is the fact that it goes faster than regular life does. But the specific reason I bring that up is that with heist movies, that doesn't actually have to be the case, because with Money Heist, the thing goes hour by hour and it is still incredibly engaging the whole way through. So it's not even like it's speeding us through a lot of what's happening, just because, I mean, it is speeding us a little bit through what's happening, but not as much as a typical heist movie, which will have you play through maybe a month in the span of the movie, whereas in Money Heist you'll go through 2 hours in an episode or something like that.
Yeah, which I still haven't seen. It's apparently a really excellent series, so it's definitely, I should have actually started watching it before this.
It is an amazing series. The amount of detail that they go into in the film is, I mean, in the series is pretty good. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really well thought through heist.
What type of heist is it? What do they rob?
They rob a mint, basically.
A what?
A mint where they print money.
Oh, mint. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I also have another movie here. Because just talking about the name Money Heist made me think about this. And it's another one that I'm unsure if it counts as a heist movie. And it's called Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino. And it's basically about a bank robbery. So with a bank robbery, like the whole movie being a bank robbery being taken place, would you see that as a heist movie or not really?
Sounds like a heist movie. Who are the protagonists?
Oh, the robbers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, no, I was just wondering, because the movie starts with the bank getting robbed, and then with them taking hostages, and then it's actually more like a hostage situation with the police outside, and then them trying to get their way, the robbers trying to get their way while they have their hostages. But it's it's one of my favorite movies, so even if it doesn't count as a heist movie, do check that one out, because it's...
So the robbers' way of getting what they want is not through some clever plan, it's through talking to the police and using hostages.
Yes, that's why I would say it's not necessarily a heist movie.
Yeah, you see, so Money Heist has an element of that, because they rob a mint while people are actually in there, so they do take hostages, but the way it's planned out is so meticulous that you couldn't not call it a heist movie, the way it's done.
And it's in the name as well, so
I mean, yeah, so that definitely makes it a heist movie. Also, Inside Man, directed by Spike Lee, actually. Is there? There's also, wait, am I thinking of the right movie? Yes, I am. There's also sort of like a hostage situation in that one, but that would also kind of be a heist movie. It's not a typical heist movie in that we don't see the pre-planning and we don't see the full heist. Well, we see the heist happen, but we don't see the whole pre-planning process. We kind of get that towards the end, but yeah, I would still kind of consider it a heist movie.
Okay.
A
new point? that you?
I would say that it's also very as much as important as it is to have extremely exciting things. It's extremely important to have moments of sort of more silent tension. So moments like you have your big set pieces like in Tenet where a plane crashes into a building, but then you also have your more low key set pieces where like the whole Tom Cruise coming down on a rope thing, where you're wondering, oh, is he gonna go too low? You know that what's about to happen right now requires intense precision. There's this moment in Italian. Actually, wait, am I gonna talk? Oh no, okay. There's this moment in Ocean's 11 where Yen is setting up the explosives at the. Oh, where Yen is setting up the explosives by the safe, and because he has bandages on from a mishap that happened earlier in the movie, he gets like his hand pretty much stuck on the safe, and they don't really have any way to communicate. They just have their timing. So he's kind of stuck in there, and then Brad and George are on the other side, literally trying to blow the safe, while Yen is still trying to get his hand away from there, because he's meant to go to the other side of the safe while they actually blow the thing up. And in that moment, you're wondering, oh snap, are they actually gonna like blow this guy up? And in Italian Job, something like that actually also happens when they're setting up the explosives for what the heist actually becomes when they're setting up the explosives under the road. There's a moment where Mos Def's character has to put up a whole bunch of explosives, and it's like so it's like this whole like set up montage, and then there's like just this moment where it's like and because he has to put in this I mean, it's just like a random moment of pause where it's like he has to put this final component into this other component, and if he fucks it up, him and what's that guy who's in M. Night Shyamalan's movie? Mark Wahlberg.
I ended up not helping.
So if Mos Def messes up this last little component or whatever, him and Mark Wahlberg are gonna go, and then it continues to pause for a couple of seconds, and then Mos Def's like, I love you, man. And it's just like a little thing, but I feel like when you have moments like that, it just kind of also it adds to it, because you can't just have high
octane the whole time.
You can't have that the whole time. There has to be like your sneaking
because
scenes.
That's just not how the human body works. You can't be excited and wound up for a whole movie. You'll get bored of that feeling, and it'll become normal.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you need a little bit more of like a low.
Let's call it a break.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but this isn't really
it's
a break.
Not a break.
It's a break from high octane. I was gonna say it's more of a low rumble of anxiety, because something else can happen.
And
it's
I would say a classic scene. But this isn't from a specific movie, but it's kind of a tropey scene that I always enjoy, is the classic lock picking a safe or turning that dial, and then you see the police coming closer, and you just see the guy slowly trying to figure it out, and then the police come closer and he's still figuring it out. You see them come closer, and then it's like, ooh, is he gonna make it? Are they gonna catch him? And then the police burst into the building, and you just see the open swath kind of just like slowly swinging closed or open, and an empty room, open window.
Yeah.
Good fun.
Great stuff. There actually literally are two moments like that in Italian Job.
Yes.
At the beginning when they're underwater, and then later on when where they almost like crack and break the safe, and they gotta like do the whole thing manually, which actually brings me into my next point. Do you have another point, or can I go
for it?
Yeah, I was gonna say there always has to be some unmanageable mess up or a chaos factor, something that just goes wrong during the heist that means that they can't go through with their plan the way
and
they
then
had showed
to
us before.
make them improvise a bit.
Exactly, yeah. So in Italian Job, it is that moment where they get a hold of the truck, they open the truck, and then they see that the guy actually switched safes. So it's not one that they're actually prepared for. Then they try and drill through it, and then there's like a layer of glass in between it, where if it cracks, then steel rods pretty much shut the safe, and there's no way to open it in the amount of time that they have. And then the Charlize Theron's character actually ends up having to do the whole safe opening thing manually. I mean, by touch. So that's like just something that happens that completely throws them off. In
Reservoir Dogs, it's the whole movie. The whole movie is the thing that went wrong.
Yeah. In Ocean's 12, it's when they're doing the one con and Julia Roberts is pretending to be Julia Roberts.
Wait.
And like Julia Roberts' character is pretending to be the actual Julia Roberts.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's, I love that. So it's just things like that are just so absurd but so brilliant. But anyway, Bruce Willis is the
that
is
just
the
feels
chaos
like
factor.
a George Clooney joke. Like I feel like he wrote that.
Because it's just brilliant. I love that kind of thing, man. But anyway, the chaos factor then is Bruce Willis, because Bruce Willis walks in and he's Bruce Willis as Bruce Willis, and then he's having this whole conversation with Julia Roberts, and now her character, I forget her first. Okay, whatever.
It's fine.
Her character has to now pretend like they actually know each other, and they gotta talk about all these things. And it's really funny because the character is actually freaking out that she's talking to Bruce Willis because she's a fan, but then at the same time she's acting like Julia Roberts. It's really the whole thing is just it's chaotic and it's random. It's all over the place, and I absolutely love it. So some of the things are pretty crazy, but then you get something like Ocean's 12, which just gives you something random and really out there.
And then you also get some movies like the one we watched a week ago called Thief, where nothing actually went wrong. You're just waiting and thinking, oh, what's going to go wrong? And then the heist just kind of finishes and it's done. And then the twist is more that you get screwed over or something by your employers or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't actually like that.
Yeah,
I want. I'm not saying I necessarily want. No, I want there to be conflict within the heist. You know, as part or within the planning process. In Italian Job, they plan their entire heist on a specific night, and then something goes wrong and they can't do it on that night, and then then everything starts getting shifted around, and literally the whole planning process that we had just seen completely gets scrapped, and they have to make a whole new heist, which they pretty much kind of reveal to us as it's happening.
Which was something that kind of annoyed me, because a lot of the movie was about that car doing that turn, doing that lap in a quick way.
You are thinking of Fast and the Furious.
No.
Because
there is
a scene, but no, in Italian Job, it's not the quick turn. There is a whole car thing.
I forgot exactly what it is, but then it just gets scrapped.
It does. Yeah, it does pretty much get scrapped. The driving.
Is this Italian Job or Fast and Furious where it gets scrapped, or both?
Both of them, it gets scrapped.
Yeah, and it's I can't remember which one, but one of those, it spends quite a lot of screen time about with the people trying to get it right, and then it's like this whole thing, and it's like, oh, finally, this is gonna look great, and then it just doesn't happen.
Nah, in Italian Job, it's like a 5-minute sequence. In Fast and the Furious, I think it's like maybe 10-15 minutes, because they have to try and get this in a specific time to miss the cameras.
Yeah, it's Fast and Furious.
But the thing about Fast and the Furious is it's about seeing cars drive.
Yeah.
So
but
I just don't mind. I don't mind it that much. Like I was still like, okay, so they have to kind of adapt, especially considering that is the movie where they ended up doing the safe thing. So it's like they showed us this entire planning process, and then something completely messed the whole thing up, and then they had to come up with a new plan that they didn't show us at all, and then the plan that they showed us was great.
Yeah, there's definitely arguments for it, but I just felt like my time was wasted with the whole beginning part thing.
Hey man, you gotta.
But that is actually my feeling with a lot of the Fast and Furious movies, because it feels like it's 2 movies in one, every single one of them. It's just, it has its whole first 2 acts, and then a movie is done, and then there's a whole new movie in the 3rd act. Or like halfway through, there's 2 movies always. I can't remember specifically because all of the movies blend into one, so it's like 18 movies stuck in my head.
I definitely felt like that with Hobbs and Shaw, but I don't know. I don't think I really felt like that with the other movies. I think with Fast and the Furious, they really do just try to crank in as many big set pieces as they can.
Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy those movies. They're dumb fun. But yeah, in a structure standpoint, it sometimes irks me.
All right. What's your next point?
It is, a lot of times it has a fun tone, like a kind of a light-hearted tone. It's not a lot that you get a serious heist movie, where usually I think it's kind of to offset this, like, almost like the seriousness of being a criminal, just kind of because the act itself is already serious, so people just don't want to be reminded of reality. They're kind of, it's usually a bit more escapist in nature.
Yeah.
The movies.
So are you saying that's part of what makes a good heist? Are you saying
you prefer
that kind of heist movie?
Not specifically. I'm just, this is actually more a trope of heist movies, actually, rather than what makes a great heist movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm talking about a totally different subject here. But I do enjoy heist movies. The fact that heist movies are very escapist in nature. It's one of the main reasons people watch movies. And I think that's also why heist movies is always a successful genre, is people know they can go into a heist movie and just have a fun time.
Yeah.
For some reason I just thought about Tower Heist. Like, that's also...
yeah?
What?
No, say what you're going to say.
No, I can't remember much about it because I think last time I saw it was actually at the movies, so at the cinema. Wow. So I just remember when I watched it, it was pretty fun, and there was a lot of setbacks to a previous point that they had to adapt and overcome. So it was, I really enjoyed like the whole experience, and it's with Ben Stiller, right?
Ben Stiller, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Casey Affleck's actually in that one too.
So it's always, you would always see it's kind of a comedic cast with heist movies, and just to kind of, because it's usually lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you want to say?
I didn't have anything else to add. Is that all?
That is all for now.
Yeah. I think my next point is pretty much attached to something we had said before, and that is that I feel like a good heist movie has plot twists. I don't. And that can be, I'm about to get to.
I just wanted to let them hear my voice.
That can be in the sense of just the complications that we were saying before, which isn't really plot twist as much as it is just plot swivels and that sort of thing. But sometimes it is nice as the audience to also be conned. If you know what I mean, we're led to believe one thing, like the people who are being swindled, and then later they reveal to us, oh no, in fact this is what actually happened. This is the way it really went down. Ocean's, damn it, what's this, bro? Ocean's 11 had a great reveal at the end. Actually, no, both Ocean's 11 and 12 had great reveals at the end of them, showing us what actually happened. 13 too, but Ocean's and 11 and 12 I like as movies as a whole, which is why I'll bring them up. I always think that's great because I just like plot twists just in general. It's always nice to just be out of the loop a little bit and then see, oh, okay, this is actually quite clever what they did here.
And what I always enjoy is a plot twist that is lightly foreshadowed throughout the movie. If you can watch the movie again and kind of with the way the characters act, see, oh no, it was actually, it makes sense.
Is that, I don't know if that's as possible. What
I don't know.
To what extent? Because
no, just kind of.
I think it's different from a detective movie where you're like with one clue scattered across.
Yeah, it's
all
a
the
bit
way.
different.
But
a bit different.
I think a decent like where I would kind of agree with you is that in Ocean's 12 when they do the whole hologram switch thing, there's a scene much earlier in the movie where they're talking about the guy that they eventually end up getting that technology from before we know that they're actually going to use it. They actually mention it, and then there's one or two things that they do that kind of end up making components of that final reveal, and we're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So in that sense I kind of agree, but there's not always a way to be, because if they're only making the plan like a day before the actual thing, there's no way for them to have been foreshadowing the whole way through what's gonna happen in the actual heist.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just I was more talking about in general, because I also can't think of a specific heist movie like a time that it foreshadowed a twist excellently, but yeah, I guess I'm just not on my groove today, huh?
Did you think about the topic before time, Willem? No, I'm joking.
Of course I did.
No, I'm joking. I can tell
we
you.
We run a professional shop here.
Yeah, we always record on schedule, edit on schedule, release on schedule. You know.
Yeah.
Everything's
on schedule.
Everything's on schedule. That was your next point, right? Is there anything else you want to say there, or do I go on to my next one?
You can go on your next one.
Okay, pretty much my last point is just an X factor, man. Sometimes there just has to be an X factor. Yeah. which I mean that's kind of obvious. I mean, I just like, because when we're talking about heist movies, we're talking about kind of a very formulaic. It's a very formulaic film, you know. Like if you have Who Done It, also there's a very formulaic films. I mean, I guess every genre has a formula that's already sort of there, and I think it is on the creators of whatever this version of the film to make it more interesting than usual. So I think with Ocean's 11, their sort of X factor is literally just their charm and their banter. I think with Inception, it's the fact that it's high concept and it is just some crazy sci-fi.
It's really different.
Some crazy sci-fi thing. I think that X factor is very important. I don't really think I at least let me say for like the very.
And Reservoir Dogs is the heist movie without the heist.
Yeah. in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, it is this thing of
different groups.
Yeah, different groups just starting with their own stories and then eventually colliding at a point in the film, and then you're just being like, what is going on here? With Ocean's 12, it's the thieves that we already know going against another extremely skilled thief. I mean, plus the other thing I said before, but I mean, it's not very often we have two I mean, in heist movies, two thieves going for exactly the same thing. Not at least that I've seen. It's pretty cool to have that competition sort of play out there.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting thing that they did.
Well, this isn't a point, but it is just a thing that we have watched recently that we didn't talk about today, and that is Lupin.
Oh yeah, that was great. They had a heist-like activity in each episode, a lot of swindles, a lot of cons.
Yeah, it had roadblocks, it had twists, and the thing is, you think that something bad happened, but then, oh no, it was all according to plan, and then later, oh no, it wasn't actually all according to plan, he just improvised, and it's a lot of, it's just a lot of fun, and also it is serious as well, so don't think it's just sunshine and roses. So it has serious components too. It has a lot of heart, and and it's a foreign movie or series as well. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a movies or a film snob, and I feel like foreign things are just better. But it just adds to the experience always for me for some reason.
It's French for those of you who are confused, because we've been talking a lot about American movies. Those are also foreign. But Lupin is in French.
By foreign, I mean not English.
Yeah. And just another thing I like about heist movies is the music. They always have great. They
with spy movies have some of the greatest soundtracks.
Oh my word, such great music. When I watched The Italian Job, like for the first time properly, when I was like in high school or whatever, I don't know how long, but I played that score maybe for like a month afterwards. And then the same thing when I rewatched Oceans properly for the first time, also just kept playing those scores, man. I just love a good heist movie score, you know.
Yeah, you really enjoy scores. I usually tend to not remember scores. I just while I'm watching a movie, I enjoy the score, and then it just kind of goes away in my head. So the fact that I remember like a lot of heist movies have great scores means something, because I usually don't remember at all if a movie has a great score or not. Oh. It's just not one of the things I remember.
Yeah, fair enough. Any more points on what makes a good or great heist movie?
I'll just with the part where we said it has to be fun and stuff. It's always great if it's very stylized. If it's just everything about it is slick and kind of kinetic with the camera movements and if the filmic behind it is just excellent. If it's just a lot of the things that happen and the set pieces and the movements and the type of things they have to do with the lock picking and everything, it gives a lot of freedom to do interesting things with what they show and how they show it.
I 100% agree. I would categorize that under my I mean, that is a specific point on its own, but I would also add that in with the X Factor thing. I don't know why you didn't actually mention the movie you wanted to mention, but Baby Driver does this very well.
Yes. It's written down here. I just I haven't mentioned it. No reason. No dodgy actors are in that movie. Not at all.
No, I think we can mention.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm not gonna shoot that movie down because of that. Because Edgar Wright is my bae. No, not. But yeah, my before anyone else. Director. Yeah, that's not weird, right?
All right.
Yeah, we'll say it's not weird.
Say what it is about the style that you like in that, bro.
Oh, well, with Baby Driver, every single thing that happens in it is to the beat of a song and of music. So the whole movie is just stylistically impeccable because of it. Yeah, and all of the editing and the cuts and the movements of the actors and of the objects and of everything is just in sync.
Yeah.
And anything you want to add?
I haven't watched Baby Driver in a while, so I don't really have much to add to that specifically, but I will say that I do what was I gonna say? I was just gonna bring up Oceans again. I was gonna say the style in that is amazing. We
should rather call this episode, instead of what makes a great heist movie, just name it Oceans.
What's great about Oceans? Yeah, 12. I was gonna say I just love the style in that, the quick pans, the crash zooms, the cool editing when they do that that like panel. I guess I'll call it like a cascading panel shift or something like that. I don't really know if you're going to be able to.
Very fancy.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to visualize what I'm talking about. but I like it when they do that. I like it when they show scenes where more than one thing happens on screen. There is a heist-like scene in now this just crossing over to talking about a lot of spy movies, and I don't want to do that because I want to have a whole episode for spy movies too. But in the Man from U.N.C.L.E., they also have like a lot of parts where more than one thing is happening on screen at a time. Like, so it's not just straight up editing. You know, generally from editing you cut from one shot to another shot, but instead with these kind of edits you have split screen
screens.
Yes, that's what
it's multi split screens. Like
I love that kind
not
of
just
thing.
between 2 shots, but 3, 4, 5
Yeah,
different shots, and then the new thing just kind of plops into frame. Like moves into frame, and then it just shows all the things. And a lot of times there would be fun lines between the things, and
I absolutely love that sort of thing. I just love that kind of thing. And I think I feel like watching Oceans, like so much of my own personal style when it comes to filmmaking, editing, I got from watching that. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, and also like with the movie we briefly mentioned earlier, A Thief. So like when he went into lockpick, it kind of went into the lock, kind of to show you the inner workings while he's doing the thing he does. That's also always fun to see, just kind of to see the insides of everything. And you
like to see the insides of everything, huh?
Yeah, that's why I'm a fan of horror movies as well.
It's messed up, man. Any other points on your side?
No. Anything you can just think of now, because you did say that's your last point earlier, but anything new came to mind?
No, not necessarily. There was just one or two shout outs, honorable mentions that I had. I've actually mentioned a lot of these things already. A movie we haven't mentioned yet is The Town with Ben Affleck.
Oh, I have not seen it. Didn't know it's a heist movie.
It is a heist movie, and it's pretty smart. It's realistic, and like a lot of the other things, which, okay, to be fair, could happen, but hey. But the way they do it in The Town is a lot more attainable, and also they have this thing where they literally, I mean, I guess in a lot of heist movies we have a lot of costume changes, but the way they did it in The Town was just very convincing. It actually made me think like, oh wow, this is really clever. They might actually fall for this, because as part of their heist, I think they come in as security guards or as police officers or something like that, and then they leave as like paramedics or something. I forget the specifics of it, but like they leave as, they come and go as first responders, and it works extremely well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just now thought about this movie, but I cannot remember what it's called. It's based on a true story, and it is I think it's 4 students who end up...
I've watched that movie. I like it. It's called something Animals.
Yes. Animals.
I actually was going to bring it up, but I hadn't watched it in a long time, which is why I didn't want to... And I didn't have time to watch it, so I didn't actually...
American Animals.
American Animals.
Yes. It's a fantastic movie. And it's kind of... it's very different from the other ones. It's based on a true story, like we said, and it's about students who plan to rob was it a museum? And a library, and
that has a
they just want a specific book of art. And it's also kind of like a biography, because documentary, because they have interviews spliced in between with the actual people. Right? I'm thinking of the right movie, right?
Was it with the actual people? Was it not with the actors acting as the people?
Oh, it might have been that as well, but it looked like a real interview, at least. They had real like interviews in between. I'm unsure.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't talk with too much detail, because same with me. Let's just say shout out to it, and I remember really enjoying it.
My next shout out goes to the Dark Knight, because that opening bank heist is just amazing, man. Man, he really what I love is the overlapping betrayals. Like he got number 6 to kill number 5, number 5 to kill number 4, number 4 to kill number 3, number 3 to kill number 2, and then he just takes out number 2 and then gets away with all the money by himself. That
it's
is
really smart.
Yeah, it is really smart, and it's great delegation actually. The Joker's leadership style. There. I mean, wow, that is immaculate. But just in general, it's a great
exactly what you want to hear from a guy who wants to start his own business.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I thought that was a really cool opening to a movie, a great scene, just in general. I mean, great sequence, just in general, man. Any other shout outs on your side?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
I'll shout out the MCU then for having a kind of cool scene in Ant-Man, having a time heist in Endgame, and having not quite a heist but a complex plan that's illegal in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's really more of an escape plan, but it's kind of like you're stealing yourself out of prison if you want to make if you want to go ahead and
my favorite heist series, Prison Break. It actually kind of is.
Is it a heist series?
Huh? What?
I'm asking, is it a heist series?
No, it's about breaking out of a prison.
Stealing yourself out of a prison, you mean?
Yes, sorry.
Come on, dude. We're talking about heists.
But what were you busy talking about now? Sorry.
No, you said you brought up Prison Break.
Yeah, I was joking.
Oh, that was a joke. Okay.
Well, I was joking. But it does actually, a lot of the planning in that is kind of heist-like. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite series because I only watched a bit of it, so I haven't finished it. But either way, you were talking about the Guardians of... Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you mentioned Ant-Man, but you didn't talk about Ant-Man, the movie. Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said Ant-Man.
No, but you said Ant-Man in Endgame and Ant-Man in that.
No. I was saying Ant-Man, Endgame, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I thought you said Ant-Man in Endgame.
No.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
I said in Endgame, the time heist.
Oh, in Endgame, the time. Oh, yes.
How did you...
No, I didn't really know what you said there. And now it's clicking. Now it's clicking what the time heist is.
Yeah. Oh, you mean... yeah, the whole time heist thing. What they call a time heist. I mean, you don't... It's heist-like. It's heist-like. Yeah. I just thought that was cool. The Rick and Morty episode where they rip off Ocean's 11 or Oceans just in general, that was hilarious. Did you get to that episode? What season was that? That's the last season.
Oh yeah, I only watched like 2 episodes of the last season.
Yeah.
So no, I did not.
Yeah, they had a whole rip off of the Oceans thing. There were twists on twists on twists. There was I think there's like 4 recruiting scenes in the episode. There's like the hella twist. There's like 3 different teams that end up going against each other, and it's like, oh no, you're part of this team. Oh no, we're part of that team. Oh no, we're part of... And of course, because it's Rick and Morty, there's some other sci-fi stuff in there. It's just been a while since I watched the scene, so I don't have a lot to say about it. But I thoroughly enjoyed that episode for the way it just completely ripped on all of the tropes of heist movies. I think like half of the movie of that script was just people saying, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, something that I always I mean, this really doesn't have anything to do. I mean, it has something to do with heist, but not necessarily heist movies. But it's very expensive to pull off some of these heists, bruh.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my word. I used to think about this before, but this was before I actually really paid attention to when they actually do talk about funding, because at the beginning of Ocean's 11, they do talk about funding the whole project. But I'd only watched Ocean's 12 at that time when I first thought about this. But and they don't address it at all in The Italian Job.
Yeah.
They don't address. They barely address it in Ocean's 12, but we've already addressed it before that, so it's fine. Oh no, that's all. Actually, never mind. Ocean's 12 is all about the fact that they don't really have money, so never mind that. But the point is, it is very expensive to pull together some of these heists. It's crazy.
Yep. I mean, you need a lot of times you need the specialized tools and the other stuff you need.
Wow.
Yeah. We really go in depth here at Never Book Out Podcast.
I'm loving how... Never mind, I'm not going to say that.
Do it.
No, I'm not going to say that. That will not come out of my mouth. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's a really bougie after-time activity.
Yeah, heisting is a rich man's game. Robbing is a poor man's game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Is there any other points for them?
I'll give you 10 points for a podcast well done.
Oh, thank you. And I guess we've pretty much already signaled what our favorite heist movies are, but I guess, Willem, you can just give me your top 3.
Oh dear, I did not know we were gonna do this.
That we did. Come on, dude.
Nah.
No, we talked about this. We literally said, "Are we gonna make a top 5, a top 3?"
Hey, Sego, this is a bit.
This is what? Okay, fine, fine. Do your bit then.
No, it's fine. I ruined it by saying it's a bit, but you got really passionate there. I thought I should stop it before you get like actually upset.
No, I was pretty much done with my rant anyway. But yeah. So what are your top 3?
Okay, from what I remember, from what I've seen about all of these movies, I actually really enjoyed. My top 3 is, I would say, let's do it in a weird order. No, I'm kidding. I'll do number 3 first. Number 3 is the Ladykillers.
All right.
And number 2 is Baby Driver.
Okay. But
and number 1, if it counts as a heist movie, which I don't know if it does, is Dog Day Afternoon.
And you made it your number 1.
Yeah, but it's my favorite movie of the 3.
Okay. Fair enough. My top 3 are number 3, Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels.
Ooh.
Yeah. Number 2.
That one might be my number 3 as well. Let's just say it's number 4. Okay, continue.
My number 2 is Inception.
Yeah, when I made this list, I didn't even think about Inception as a heist movie.
Oh yeah, that is definitely a heist movie. There is no, I would say.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing the fact.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying you're arguing the fact. I'm just saying, for anyone out there who's confused, there's almost no argument that you can say that it's not a heist movie, because it pretty much just adds a sci-fi concept on top of the heist template, which is an extreme simplification of the plot, but if you look at it, that's pretty much what it is. And I'm gonna cheat again, as I always do. My joint number 1 is Oceans 11 and 12. Yep. I don't appreciate you taking away my reveal from me, Willem.
Sorry, man. All of the listeners were so on the edge of their seats. They had no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Willem. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oceans 11 and 12, man. Some great stuff. Some great movies.
Yeah. I would have they might be high on my list if I have rewatched them recently, but I haven't seen them in. Wow, it's been years. I really should rewatch them. Should have rewatched them, but hey, here we are. And I haven't rewatched them, so what you gonna do?
Willem, this is only our part 1 of talking about heist movies.
We're definitely gonna talk about it again in the future somewhere.
Revisit this in like a week. No, I'm joking.
Oh,
no, I'm joking. When we do the whole remakes evaluation thing, we'll come back to some of the heist movies, because we'll actually watch the original Italian Job and the original Ocean's 11
and the original Ladykillers.
There we go, Ladykillers.
And he'll watch the remake as well, because he hasn't seen the remake.
Yep. Yeah.
Are we putting that in a box and calling it done.
Oh wow! Come on, man.
Are we gonna put it in a box, kick it out the house, and say it's finished? That works better, right?
You're getting closer. You're getting closer. Do you want to try? Do you want to go for a third swing or?
No. If I go for a third swing and it misses, then I'm out.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's the first line we wanted. This has been the Never Call Cut podcast.
And cut.
Come on, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah, come on. How could you? I am Reservoir.
And I am Willem van der Merwe.
And thank you for listening to this podcast, man.
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been lovely having you listen to us.
Yeah. Now go watch some movies and
enjoy life.
And tell us what you think about them in the comments below.
And,
yeah.
And spread some joy, people.
Yeah, man. Have some joy. Spread love. Stay blessed. Much love.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Love you, bye. Did you just stop your recording?
Yes.
Why?
I thought we were done.
How could we be done? We're never done. We never call cut.